Hey San Diego, welcome back to the Apartment Geek Weekly. I'm a little lonely this week. It's just me. I'm doing a solo episode on economies of scale, which I'm excited about. Excited to talk about, and I'm also looking forward to a trip coming up to New York and Cape Cod and Boston. And believe it or not, have never been to the East Coast other than one day in 8th grade for an 8th grade trip. So economies of scale. So what this means basically is that life and business and profit becomes more effective as we own larger properties. The reason for this is basically systems that we can put in place at the property. So the one of the best examples that I have is a landscaper costs about the same on a 20 unit asset that it does on a 20 unit building, or excuse me, a 50 unit building, because the landscaping company has to unload their equipment, has to pay for gas to get there, etc. Same thing for pest control. It's you have people servicing the building that are already going to the physical property, and when you have a larger number of units, it just becomes more efficient. And another example that we've talked about in the past is RUBS, rebate utility billing system. Implementing a system on like RUBS on a 10 unit asset or 20 unit building can really be a lot of work and paperwork, and the tenants want to see copies of the water bill, etc. When you get into bigger buildings, you can implement those, and your benefit or your impact is just simply greater because you have a larger number of units under that system, so to speak. Physical trips to the property. If you own 50 units and you're physically going to visit the property or oversee repairs or a turnover, etc., there's more that you can kind of handle or get done, and it's a more efficient use of your time. I just walked a 50 unit building last week with a client who had a large storage room with extra supplies, vinyl plank flooring. This gentleman had some toilets and some plumbing parts in there for the handyman. He had it down to a system where if there was an issue or a turnover, it was a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom. It was kind of like plug and play, and it was really easy to turn something over. And I could just see the effectiveness of it because he had things on site literally that he could use. I also think this works especially well for people who are tight managers. And I mean tight managers, I mean smart, on top of it, sophisticated. They're making intelligent business decisions. They have a effective on-site manager. I see way too many on-site managers that are lazy, complacent, way too picky as far as tenants coming in, overly picky. You want somebody who's going to be screening, but I see poor on-site management. So this works well for owners who are on top of their game. They have house rules in place. They have a certain theme or feel of the property, and they're just, frankly, just intelligent landlords. And what you could do with when you own bigger assets is you can implement, I call it like sophisticated investment real estate, or just at being an intelligent investor with regards to capital improvements. So if you own a 50 unit building and you go out and do paint and landscaping, you're making you're doing all these improvements to make the property a more appealing, attractive place for residents to live. And you're using your skill and experience over a number of years of being an owner. And when you put that into effect on a bigger building, for example, renovating landscaping, more people are going to benefit from it. And again, you're just kind of creating a more effective long-term picture. Sometimes I compare apartments to like a widget factory where you have certain little things producing widgets, units producing income. And if we have a larger factory with more widgets, and we can improve the parking lot and the windows, the feel of the property. There's a property we recently put in a cabana picnic area, and more people at a larger building will be able to benefit from that. So kind of a nice has a neat benefit of scale and just owning a larger business, so to speak. Property culture, we talked about that. Paint, landscaping. If you own really large buildings, 100 units plus, institutional stuff, you can really create your own micro economy, so to speak, and you can almost have your own rent comps within your property, which is pretty neat as well. Quicker added value. So if you're adding value to a property and you're going to spend all the time and energy to improve that rent roll and make the building look better and curb appeal, etc., you might as well have a larger business to do it in. Now, larger real estate is going to cost more money. I'm speaking more to owners who have owned 10, 20, 30 unit buildings for a number of years, and the benefit of, or a 5 unit, 6 unit building, really the benefit of selling that asset, 1031 exchanging into a bigger property. It's going to become more effective, more efficient long term, and you can really get kind of the systems in place that, while in the beginning may not seem very helpful, but long term, if you're on top of your management and you're a good a smart landlord, you're going to reap the benefits of owning kind of in economies of scale. So that's the 2 cents for this week. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, happy investing. Let me know if I can help you with any kind of modeling on trading up from one of your buildings into a larger asset and taking advantage of the economies of scale. Thanks.